Chip Roy always brings the heat. And what we like about Chip Roy is it's pretty bipartisan. He was a little annoyed at his Republican caucus last night. They passed a continuing resolution that then went to the Senate and also got passed. The government's not going to shut down. Yay. And apparently the main goal of the House Republicans was just that. Let's just get something out of here so we don't shut down the government. But Chip Roy had another idea. Okay, fine, you got that passed. How about we pass one more bill? Why don't we send one more bill over to Chuck Schumer and Joe Biden? One more bill that actually states who we are and what we stand for. Chip Roy, take it away.
Why aren't we putting another bill on the floor of the House right now and sending it over to the Senate to shove it down their throats, to say that we Republicans stand for cutting spending? We Republicans stand for standing with Israel. We Republicans stand for securing the border of the United States. No. Let's just go back and go raise some money so we can do more fundraisers, so we can then try to get elected, so we can come back here and offer more excuses for why we don't get the job done. You know what the excuse will be next year? Oh, well, we won the House and we won the Senate, if we could even do that, but we don't have 60 in the Senate, Chip. We can't do what you want to do because we don't have 60 votes in the Senate. I've heard nothing but excuses for the 20 years that I've either been a staffer in this town, back in Texas watching it closely, or now back as a member. Nothing but excuses. Nothing but empty promises. And the time for those excuses is over. Today we took down a rule. Yes, because it was a closed rule. We had a closed rule, which means you can't amend it. The Rules Committee put forward a bill for Iran to go, quote, freeze the $6 billion sitting in Qatar through a closed rule. We were not allowed to amend it. Such is the way things operate in the people's house if we don't police it every single day. We changed things in January. We've been opening the place up, but that was a reversion right back to the mean. You can't amend it, little boy. You're just a backbencher. You know what? Yes, we will. We will force amendments because we had a better approach than a simple freezing of the $6 billion. You know what we wanted to do? We wanted to tell Iran, no more. We're going to force the administration to stop issuing waivers to sanctions against Iran so we can stop the enrichment of Iran at the expense of Israel and at the expense of our own national security. Just yesterday, another $10 billion of waivers, $10 billion of waivers for Iran to sell electricity to Iraq. We are enriching Iran to be at war with us. We are enriching Iran to fund the killing of Jews in Israel. And yet Republicans just whistle by. Just say, oh, let's just issue a little bill. Let's just do $6 billion of freezing these assets in Qatar. Why don't you stop the actual blood money? Why don't you actually stand up and stop Iran from making billions of dollars giving oil to China? We talk a big game about Ukraine. We wear our little blue and yellow pins. Look at us. Look how compassionate we are to help people. Well, what the hell are we actually doing? Blank checks to Ukraine to go into the pockets of oligarchs, massive corruption, all getting documented by the day. We send a bill over to the Senate. Democrats kill it because they'd rather side with the IRS than Israel. And we can't even move a bill to hip check the Iranians who want to kill us and exterminate the Jews in Israel.
How can you argue with this? He's 100% right. And I haven't been in D.C. as long as he has. I think he said 20 years. But let me tell you something. I remember in 2010 when we were told, give us the majority and fire Nancy Pelosi. We'll go to regular order and we'll kill Obamacare. And they did. They got a huge majority. John Boehner was speaker. We never went to regular order. And they didn't do anything to kill Obamacare. So then they said, well, give us the majority in the Senate in 2014. And they got the majority in the Senate in 2014. And they said, give us that majority and we will kill Obamacare. And they tried. They had a filibuster and a quasi-government shutdown. You remember Ted Cruz reading Green Eggs and Ham, and he said this is going to increase the cost of health insurance, and well, they couldn't do it. They said, well, I'm sorry, we don't have enough votes in the Senate. Sure, we have the majority, but we don't have enough votes. And so it went through, and Obamacare went through, and Ted Cruz was right in between green eggs and ham versus, and all of our insurance went up and people lost their doctors and lost their insurance. And Barack Obama said, oh, I guess I got that one wrong. Oh, well. And of course, we're all screwed now. But then they said, well, listen, give us the presidency and then we'll kill Obamacare. Then we'll be able to do it. So Trump gets elected. They've got a majority in the House. They've got a majority in the Senate. And then what happens? John McCain. And we're stuck with Obamacare, and we still got Obamacare. And the cost of health insurance has gone up even more. And health care has gone up even more because of it. And we were right all along. And he's right. Chip Roy is right. We've been down this road before. We got the majority in the House now. Now give us the majority in the Senate. Now give us the White House. Now we have to have 60 votes in the Senate. Pass the bills. Pass the bills and make them vote no on it. Guess what? That's how you win elections. That's how you win elections. We passed this bill. They said no in the Senate. Give us the majority in the Senate. And next time we come through, it'll go through. Except then they don't do it.